Hey everybody, welcome to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford. The point of this show is to help improve ourselves as dogmen and to raise the quality of the dogs on the end of our lead. So let's settle in, turn the volume up, and let's see if we can't learn a trick or two together from our guests. Hey everybody, you are listening to the Slick Tree Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Langford, and today we've got Josh Carwile on the phone with us. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Colby?
Doing good. It's we had kind of a little bit of a rainy day here today, which is it's all right, kind of welcome from as dry as it's been over here. How about yourself?
Yeah, we've been last 2 days, like we talked about before. It's been rainy, stormy. It's been kind of hard on the dog training world for me. I mean, a lot of wind and just hard to train young dogs and really get them to do what you want to do with the 15-mile-an-hour winds, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Other than that, though, I'm glad we needed some rain, so I guess I can't complain too bad.
yeah. Well, Josh, why don't we just jump in and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm from Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, a town called Livingston. Most people know Cookeville more than they know Livingston, Tennessee. It's North Tennessee, we're close to Albany, Kentucky. Next door to Cookeville, Jamestown, where the OMCBA is originated. I'm 20. I'm 36. Got two little boys. I've been hunting squirrel dogs for about 28 years, and a lot of people don't know that about me. But I started out with a little Foss dog from Peanut Beatty. I don't know if you know Peanut Beatty from Jamestown. Uh, Started out with a little Foss dog when I was 8. I used to run that little dog. My dad let me go with a gun when I was 9, I think. Uh, I'd come back with 5 to 10 squirrels, and he'd be like, "Aren't you a little young to be out with a gun?" He just never stopped me from doing it. And ever since then, man, I've always enjoyed just following a dog through the woods. Now I've got into cur dogs. I had a cur dog after the feist, a bandit dog. I had a Ray Allen Smith stuff from Birdstown, and then it's led me to where I'm at now, and I've kind of switched over to really, really hard the last year of the competition side of things, and that's where we're at today. It was a short rundown of a long 28 years there.
So, how did you end up? Did any of your family hunt dogs whenever you're that young,
Well,
or how'd you end up with one?
my dad's always he used to coon hunt. He was a real big coon hunter back in the day. He had a cur dog. He liked to coon hunt a lot, and he stayed in the woods. And he decided, when I was little, he wanted to get back into it. So we got the little feist. Her name was Rowdy, just a solid white dog with brown ears. A real, real good squirrel dog. And, a lot of people do it. It's a good thing to do. If you can get your kids involved, it's something fun to do to go out and shoot guns and kill squirrels. I mean, and I liked it and I enjoyed it and I've always done it and I've done it ever since then. And if you see me at a hunt, you usually see at least, one of my kids, one of my sons, or you see both. And a lot of the dog men at these hunts probably know my kids better than they know me because I try to take them wherever I go to all these competition hunts. But that's where it all started was with the Foss dog. And and my grandpa didn't have dogs, but really my dad. I guess to answer your question, my dad got me into it, and he always had some sort of squirrel dog, coon dog growing up.
You got your boys handling dogs in the hunts, or they just
We had Xander. Xander's 11, my oldest one. He handled his first dog in an OMCBA hunt. It was in Georgia 2 weeks ago. I think I took him down, and I handled Buffalo River Cutter, and he handled Tennessee Shadows Rowdy, which I got off Bobby Taylor, and he got fourth place. So I mean, that kind of I think he's kind of I think it kind of I don't know the real word to use, but he's stuck on it now. Like when are we going to the next one, Dad? When's the next one? When's the next one? Well, we got plenty coming up. They just don't have them 5 days a week. You got to wait till the weekend, son. So he done pretty good. Which he probably knows the rules as good or better than most guys that do these hunts. I mean, he studies them. He watches the videos. He watches the hunts. He really pays attention. He uses the Garmin 100, Alpha 100. I mean, he just knows the inside and outs. I mean, he does to be 11. He does pretty good at it.
Yeah, I've got a 7-year-old little boy, and he likes to go with me pretty often. But he's at the point right now where he's about half. He don't always want to pack his gun just because he doesn't like packing. He'd rather just bebop
Yeah.
around in the woods with me. And I've got an extra Garmin that I've got him set up. I took the training codes out of it, and he knows how to tell where the dogs are at and how far they are. But half the time
Right.
it's just kind of in his way more than anything right now. But he likes to go. But he's a little slow to be on cast yet.
Yeah, that's my little one. We went to that hunt that Xander got fourth, and he done real well. I think he made it to the championship against Eric Wally and the Hawk Dog. It was a 2-dog cast, and he lost by a circle tree. But I mean, it was hot. I mean, he never quit. The dogs never quit, and it was a good first hunt for him to really get the ropes on, and he done really well at it. I think Hawk had 300 circle, and Rowdy had 200 circle.
I
It was
got
a 60-minute. It was a 60-minute cast, and it was hot, man. And in Georgia, where we was at hunting, and the finals wasn't too bad, but me and Eric drawed out that morning, and where the guy dropped us, man. It was straight up and down. I mean, it was not good hunting territory, I guess you could say. And Hawk done good, and Cutter done good. I just caught a minus, and I didn't move on. I mean, it's just how it goes sometimes.
Well, what you've kind of touched on this a little bit, but you want to tell us a little bit about what dogs you're hunting now? Are you just hunting the straight curs, or what all dogs you got you're working on?
Well, I have Tennessee Shadows Rowdy from out of Bobby Taylor's Shadow and Dangerous Dan dog. I got him back in the spring, and I won the spring class. Me and Rowdy won the spring classic in Jamestown, OMCBA hunt. And then we hit the WTDA World. I didn't place in it. And then we hit the UKC World, and we ended up getting fourth in it. And I didn't hunt him in June. And then we hunted this past weekend at the Fall Classic, and I ended up getting fourth in it. And he's getting a little age on him. He's 10, but to be 10, I mean, he still got it. He does really well. Bobby done really well with him. It's a great bloodline. And then I got a female pup off of Rowdy. So I think she's 15 months old, and she's really coming along. Really, really fast foot speed. And I'm working her, and I actually I run a lot of dogs for Kevin Cowan at Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working five of his younger dogs. It's like you take a dog in the morning, you take a dog midday, you take a dog in the evening. And I got different stages. We got a training pen set up. We got a squirrel tube out here. We got it set up for a cage, like they do the treeing contest, up and down the pole. We do a lot of lead out stuff. We do a lot of box training. I mean, it's just a lot goes into, there's a lot of pressures, I guess you could say, to me, when you put a dog in the box and you drive 5 hours away. And the dog's got to be able to handle the dog box pressure. Then he's got to get out of the box. Then he's got to hunt a cast for an hour and a half. And if you move on, it could be a midday round. You got to make it for another 90 minutes. Then you got an evening round. You got to make it for another 90 minutes. There's just a lot goes into it. And it's just not put a dog in the box and drive, get out, and they're going to perform. I mean, to me, it's a lot of different steps. They got to be able to lead well. They got to hold box pressure. They got to hold tree pressure. They got to hold dog pressure. They got to hold people pressure. It's just a lot of different stages. And I got these dogs for Kevin that I'm working for him now. we got different phases. We call it stage 1, 2, and 3. We got some that's in the training pen, and we got some that's dog box lead out training, and then we got a couple that's woods ready that I'm able to take, whether it be morning, midday, or evening. And then I take my own dogs. It's a 7-day schedule, man. I mean, it's on paper. We got to do this, this, and this, and you got all the other factors that come into it. Of course, you got to take care of them to help them perform. So, and then I'm hunting. I think I got 22 or 24 hunts scheduled. We're pushing the Buffalo River Bad Ice Dog. That's what I'm pushing in these hunts. And Xander's going to push Rowdy. Let me back up a little bit. I'm going to push Ice and USDC, NSD, OMCBA, and LMC. Xander's pushing Rowdy in the OMCBA and the LMC. And she's the Ice Dog's out of Festus and Matty Ice. And so I think we got 22 hunts scheduled. I mean, I got a busy upcoming next 6 months. So that's Rowdy and the Ice Dog are the ones we're pushing in hunts. And of course I work younger dogs daily, all day really. So that's where we're at right now.
So this is what you're doing full time?
Yeah, it's a full-time gig for me.
Gotcha.
About 6, I could say 5 days a week, because last week at the OMCBA Fall Classic, that really jumped us off. I think I got a hunt. I think from us talking now, I got a hunt every weekend besides maybe 5 weekends all the way up till the USDC World at the end of March. We're just a lot of hunting, a lot of chasing dogs.
Yeah. Let me back you up just a little bit. Won't you mind telling us about your training pen setup and what that looks like?
Yeah, we got a it's 200 foot by 100 foot, 200 foot by 150 foot training pen. We use 5-foot wire. We got one gate in and out. I think I got 3 bucket squirrel feeders in there, and I got 2 squirrel houses in there. And the way we set mine up, or the hours up, I don't know. I see a lot of them dead set in the woods, like in the woods, like surrounded by woods. We set ours up, it's half and half. Like the left side's woods, all trees, and the right side is a couple trees, but in the field, like more of an edge of a field.
Mm-hmm.
And my theory and thoughts on this, and it works for me, it may not work for everybody. It gets the game coming from the woods to the field where our feeders are. So they got to get on the ground. Like they can't come out of the woods and jump tree to tree to get to the feeders. So they got to come out of the trees and get on the ground to come to the feeders on the right side of the squirrel pen.
Mm-hmm.
So it works for me to get in the scent on the ground, and of course they we set 4x4 posts. I think they're 8 foot tall on the right side of the pen. That's the wooded or the field edge. So it kind of gets them out of the trees on the ground, in the feeders, up the poles, and gets that scent all over the pen instead of just tree topping to the feeders and be able to, come down the tree, go to the feeders and straight back up the tree. They actually got to get on the ground. If they're going to eat in my squirrel pen, they got to get on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it works well for me it's my opinion. All a squirrel pen's going to do is get them looking up and get them chasing game, and barking at game. I mean, and once they do that, to me, they no longer need to be in that pen, and we need to go to the big woods. So I mean, it does well. It's a tool, just like anything else. But I mean, that's basically, once or twice in there, and you get one barking up, it's time to take them to the woods, and it works for me. I don't know, other people may be different. A lot of squirrel pens you see are dead set in the woods with trees all over the place. But that's what works for me, and that's how we do it.
Yeah.
And as far as the squirrel tube, we got We got a 15-foot. We got two 4x4 posts. They're 15 foot tall, and they're 40 foot. From one to the other, straight line. My tube runs up one side of the pole, 40 foot over, and it dead ends at the top. And the way we got it set up, once we're done messing with the dogs and the tube, on the in and out end on the left side, we got a feeder bucket that we can water and feed the squirrel in. So once there's no dog, like of a nighttime like now, the squirrel can come down, eat, and feed. It just helps us keep the squirrel longer than a day or two.
Yeah.
And then we got a lead out, of course, dead set at 20 foot in the center of the squirrel tube. Because as competition hunters, you got to go in and handle your dog and leash him to the tree. So, we let one timber it, as you'd call it, left and right, and then we like to sit down and lead out the dog as if it was in the woods, attached to a tree. So again, it's just a tool. I mean, it's a tool. What we do people may think we're crazy and do it's totally different, but we keep it off the ground. We don't have nothing running on the ground here. It's all in the air. Keeps them looking up. And we let them chase and let them chase and let them chase, and then we'll tie them down in hopes that they sit down and just, as the squirrel back and forth, left and right, up and down, it sits down and settles in and starts treeing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what works for us, and until it don't work, I mean, there's no need to change it, I guess you could say.
Kind of tell me what you're talking about. You mentioned stage. You referred to them as being stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. Let's
Okay.
walk through that and tell us kind of how you're classifying them as they progress.
Okay, so me and Kevin sat down and figured this out. It's what's working for us now. As we get in the early stages of this, I got 2 0 to 6 month old pups, and then we got 2, I think 10. We'll put it like this: 0 to 6, stage 1. Anything beyond 6 to 10, 11, 12 months, stage 2, and stage 3 is woods ready. I mean, 0 to 6, we're showing them squirrel pens, we're showing them tubes. We got them on the lead out in the yard, stakes in the ground, getting them used to being up on the lead. We're putting them in dog boxes, riding them out on the property. We're loading them on a box on the 4-wheeler, riding them to the squirrel pen, riding them to the tube, getting them used to dog box pressure. That's what we're looking at when I say stage 1, a young pup. Stage 2, a little older pup that's maybe barked at the tube, barked in the squirrel pen. May need to go to the squirrel pen again. May need some work on the leash. That's stage 2. When I say that, we're bouncing them around to things that they're almost ready to just cut in the woods. Stage 3 being, that's dogs that needs woods time. Like they need a pair of boots wore out, and that's stage 3. So it's just younger dogs, stage 1, dogs that's semi showing interest, stage 2, and dogs that's wood ready, stage 3. It was just an easy way for me to log it in a book and just keep up with my own stuff. I mean, it may sound stupid to other people, but it helps me keep track of what we got going on, and it helps me. I mean, that's what helps me, and that's what I do. So,
What are you doing to log? So do you just use like a blank notebook and keep notes, or does each dog have its own notebook, or how does that look?
no, I do. A laptop. We usually do. I keep everything on Excel. So like today, I took a dog to the woods this morning for an hour. Took a dog to the woods this evening for an hour. I come back. If the dog went 150 yards on today, I log that down. If the dog treated a squirrel today, I log that down. If the dogs had tendencies of going out, coming back, I log that down. It just allows me to a month from now, go back and see what this dog, the progression of this dog, okay, a month ago, this dog was going out 100 yards and coming back every 5 minutes. Well, fast forward a month from now, okay, this dog's staying out 300 to 500 yards, and I'm not seeing this dog but once every 30 minutes. It just helps me keep track of what's going on and how the progression of each dog does, I guess you could say, from the time I get it to the time that it goes back to its owner. I mean, it just helps me, and hopefully, and a lot of people probably don't go into that extent of it, but hopefully down the road, when I put the sire, I put the mom and dad of the dog down, maybe a couple trees back, and see where the breed, the bloodline of the dog, and it's, to me, I mean, every dog has a flaw of some sort, and it may not be a big flaw. It may be, I guess you could say, there's pros and cons to every dog. There's no dog that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, if I can see, like, this bloodline, okay, this pup had the same bloodline as this dog I had a year ago. Let's see if this dog does the same tendencies as this dog I had that's pretty much the same bloodline. But that's my goal, to be able to come back to, a year or two from now. So I keep a pretty excessive Excel spreadsheet on everything I mess with, just in hopes that it helps me down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not. It's something that I like to do, that I like to keep track of. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think I'll be able to go back and really see in depth the different bloodlines. Well, this dog done this dog done this dog's from this dog. This dog was handled by this person. There's a lot of different stuff, a lot of different aspects that I think that's overlooked, and that helps me help the dogs, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I know that. I wish that I took better notes, because it's really easy for me, at least, to, you get a dog started, and once you get him kind of into that finish stage where he's doing really well, it's really easy to look back and forget about that. Yeah, you remember when they treated their first time when they were 6 months old, but for me,
Right.
you forget about that 3 month lull where they just drove you crazy and never did anything but make you wanna give them away.
Right, and I thought, and we touched back on that. Me and Bobby Taylor's pretty good buddies, and I talked to Bobby a lot, which Bobby's had a lot of success with his bloodline of dogs, and he's just a dog man, period. And me and Kevin talk a lot, and then my dad's a good dog man too. So, as I write, take notes and do this stuff, I call, I'm talking to Bobby hours a week. I talk to Kevin hours a week. I talk to my dad hours a week about this stuff. And what works for me don't work for everybody else, and people might think it's silly. Like Bobby, for himself, he remembers everything. Like, he don't have to do it that way. Like, he can tell you stuff 20 years ago, like where the dog come, what the dog did, what it done on the first time out or the 50th time out. It's just I got so much going on. I can look back and say, well, this dog done this, this, and this. So it's what helps me.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing this full time?
Oh, we started full time. I mean, I really started pushing the comp dogs. Trying to get back at about a year now. About a year now. It's just, as you go to these hunts and see how good the dogs are nowadays. I mean, there's a lot of good dogs out there, and there's a lot of good dog men out there. And I mean, you can go through 50 dogs nowadays, and you may only get one. You may not get none. You may get two or three or four. But as you work with all these dogs, and as I work with all these dogs, it's there's so many good dogs out there. Like, you gotta really know your dog, is what I'm trying to get at. You gotta really know your dog to be able to beat these good dogs. And if you make one mistake, I mean, you pretty much beat yourself. So the reason I do all this stuff, I try to eliminate that. I try to learn the dog I'm hunting. I try to know him or her as best of my ability as I can. And it goes back to to the squirrel pen, to the tube, listen to their bark. It helped. I mean, it's the last year, I guess you could say, I've really learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot. And I don't think I'll ever learn everything. And I learn something new every time I go to one of these hunts and draw out with these other dogs. I wish my dog would do that. I wish my dog didn't do that. My dog does this better than that. Dog does that. It's just, and I come back and note these hunts, and that's just a lot of stuff I learn, a lot of stuff I like and I don't like, and I see these dogs that's winning, and it's like, can I get my dog to do that? Can I get my dog to do this? But to me, it all boils down to, like, I like to have my hands on a dog, like, right out of the gate, like 6 weeks. Whenever I can get a dog, I like to get them in my hands, just so you know that dog and you know everything about the dog and you know all the tendencies, all the goods and bads, and that's pretty much what got me doing it full time. Because if I can't do it, and there may be some out there that I don't know of, but if you're only going to hunt a dog and you're only going to know your dog once or twice a week, you're probably not going to go win a bunch of hunts, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be some dogs out there that I don't, I'm speaking for myself, but if I'm only going to hunt a dog once or twice a week and I keep going to these hunts and I keep getting beat, then I'm blaming it's my fault. It's not, it's probably, if the dog's good enough to win, then it's probably my fault that I don't know this dog like I should. So that goes back to why I take it to the extent of noting this stuff on an Excel spreadsheet. And maybe I take it too far, but to me, it just helps me, man.
Yeah. Do you do you take any dogs in from the public, or are you just kind of hunting with your partner?
No, I hunt dogs for Kevin, and me and Bobby hunt dogs with each other. And I got Rowdy from Bobby. Me and Bobby own Rowdy together. Actually, I got Trixie from Bobby, and I try to stay. I hunt dogs for Kevin, of course, and then if I'm not hunting dogs for Kevin and I'm hunting my own dogs, it's the bloodline. Goes back to Hummer, Blackjack, Shadow. That's the kind of bloodline I'm trying to stick with, because that's a lot of the dogs you see doing very well, and in the OMCBA world, and a lot of your dogs now are a lot of your top notch dogs are tree curs now, and I actually got my first tree cur the other day off Kurt Humphrey. It's off of Pretty Boy Floyd and a Black Widow female, and he's probably the best pup I've messed with. As far as he's 10 weeks old and he's already trying to hang up, he's trying to cage. He just acts really well, and a lot of your top notch dogs now seem to be the tree curs. So, but in my mind, Colby, I live so close to Jamestown, like I'm 30 minutes from Jamestown. Me packing a tree cur, I can't take him to Jamestown.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll probably be, if he don't make it, I probably will just stay with the OMCBA LMC cur dogs. If he does make it, I'll probably push him in NSD and USDC and WTDA, and then of course my HDA. So we'll try. I'm testing the waters, I guess you could say.
Since you brought it up, let's just jump right into the HJ, the Hunting Dog Association, and why don't you tell us about it? What brought you to start a new organization compared to just, like, say, maybe hosting another sanctioning body?
Okay, so the HDA is the Hunting Dog Association. It's open to all dogs. You hunt what you bring. And I sit down and Kobe, I've been working on. I've almost rolled it out once before in the early summer. And I talked to some guys, talked back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I kept writing this stuff on paper. And to me, I had a conversation today. I went ahead and rolled it out, and there's, of course, you got UKC, NKC, WTDA, USDC, OMCBA, Am I leaving any of them out?
NSD.
NSD. You got all these great registries, and I told myself if I don't roll it out and try it, then I'll never know if it works or not. And it's all about getting dogs and handlers and dogmen to come to these hunts and having great hunts and having great camaraderie with everybody and being fair to everybody and making everything equal to everybody and all the dogs and handlers. So I rolled it out, and as I go through the year, hunting NSD, hunting OMCBA, hunting USDC, watching USD, watching these hunts that they film, WTDA. I started seeing, you learn all these rules, and they're all basically the same with their own little, I guess you could say, quirks to them. There's something different about each one of them, but basically they're all the same. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So as I write my rules down and stuff, I started picking out. You got your general rules that's pretty much all the same, and then of course I had to make it a little different. I couldn't just roll something out and make it exactly like the same set of rules as another one or another one. So I added a couple different rules that tighten a few things up. That's a little more stricter on the dog and the handler as some of these other registries, and that's where we're at, man. And I think we're hosting. We got our world hunt in January, and I'm gonna roll. I got a 9 dog in November, and then I got a guy at Corbin, Kentucky. He's gonna have an HDA hunt, and I kind of want to slow step it, the rest of this year and into the spring and 2026 fall. I'm gonna really roll it out. And going back to what you said, I'm hosting 4 USDC hunts, 4 NSD hunts, and I host 2 OMCBA hunts this year. So I think I'm hosting 11 other registry hunts, and then I got my 2 HDA hunts. So they're all great, and I support them all. And I hope I can get these guys to support the HDA as much as they support all the other registries. And I think if I can do that and get some guys coming, I think it'll. I mean, I think it'll take off and be a good thing for everybody in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are your rules like? How does a guy go in and find out more about the HJ if they're interested in maybe hosting a hunt or coming to one and then want to look into the rules?
Okay, we got. Of course, we talked about you can. Everybody uses Facebook. Well, I say everybody. 90% of people have access to Facebook and have Facebook. We have a hunting dog association page group on Facebook. It's a private group. I've tried to send out like all the invites I can to get as many dog men in there as possible, on hopes that they'll invite other people and just get that page to grow. But if you get on there and join it, of course I check it daily. I'll accept it and try to get as many people in as possible. And once you get in, and of course I was telling you, if you'll slide through there, you can check out the files page and you can see all the rules, all the club rules, all the handler rules. There's registration forms in there. There's membership forms. There's handler forms. Anything you need to get signed up and ready to go for you and your dog or your pups is in there, and it's printable. And they can always reach out to me. My phone number's on there. The email's on there. And you can message me on Facebook. I mean, there's a couple different 2 or 3 contact ways, and I'll always answer back. It may take me a little bit, but I always see it and I always reply back. And I mean, that's other than that, we got of course, the phone number, the email, and the group on Facebook. Other than that, I mean, that's the 3 basic ways to get more knowledge, I guess you could say, of the HDA and try to get this thing off the ground.
Gotcha. Which I'm just kind of skimming through. I've got it pulled up on my phone right now while we're talking. And I'm going to go ahead and note that if someone's searching for that, it's the group name is Hunting Dog Association, and then parentheses HDA, and it's got a black and white logo with a dog on a tree. Uh,
That's it.
And then once you're joined, when you pull up the main page, right at the top, it's a U about photos, events, and files. And that files is when you go in there and it goes right into the rules.
And then I got you mentioned a minute ago, I got the club rules pulled up. Um, right now we have everything squirrel rolled out as far as rules. We're working on the coon stuff. The world hunt is going to be squirrel only. We got the junior dog and the senior dog. It's a 4-day event right here in Livingston. And then anybody else that's interested, in hosting the hunt, we rolled it out. You can have a club hunt, you can have a money hunt, and of course we have our world. We're going to have our world hunt every year. Um, you can earn squirrel champion, you can earn ground squirrel champion. It's all points based. Um, we got our money hunts that can't exceed $300 entry. Anybody that wants to host a club hunt, that's just a straight $50 entry. And our world hunts are $60 entries, and we got a handler lifetime fee. And of course, I'm sure you've already seen it. You can register pups, you can register dogs individually. Our memberships for the HDA go from April 1 to April 1, so that's a yearly membership. It's pretty self-explanatory as you get in there and start looking at it. I try to dumb it down as much as possible, and if I missed anything, feel free for anybody that's reading through it to reach out and say, hey, what about this or that? And if I missed it and it needs to be in there, of course I'd put it in there. And I've done it, Toby. I've done it for everybody. Not just trying to push my dogs in it, and I'm not just trying to do something for me. I'm trying to make something that you can bring a Feist to, you can bring a Walker to, you can bring a blue tick, red bone. I mean, anything. Any dog that trees squirrels that can abide by the hunt rules can show up and hunt.
Sounds like it ought to work.
It was. I mean, and two, and I'll bounce over to the rules. And you mentioned it earlier. As you go down through, you look at your major competition registries, and the three main things I guess I got down here that are different from your other comp world registries is we made your bark time. Once you tree a dog in, some of them's 90 seconds, some of them's 2 minutes. We made ours. Once you tree your dog in, we got a 1 minute bark time rule. So he's got to bark once every minute instead of every 90 seconds or 2 minutes. It just kind of tightens everything up. And another one we made that was similar but not the same as the others is if me and using a cast together and your dog has 250 plus, 250 minus. To me, that's on the scorecard that equals 0. And if say the other dog has 250 circle, well, when the time hunt's up, the 250 circle points beats the dog that has 250 minus, 250 plus. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody or everybody will like that, but that's how we roll ours out. It just, to me, if a dog trees 2 squirrels but makes 2 mistakes, I don't think he should be the dog that also made 2 trees that didn't make a mistake, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we stuck that rule in there, and then we got the babbling rule in there. If you cut a dog off the cut and he starts barking for 15 seconds within the first 30 seconds, he gets a warning and a minus. If he does it after 30 seconds, you're good. So we stuck that in there to try to tighten some stuff up. But other than that, I mean, all the other rules are basically the same as about every other registry. So that was the 3 not major changes, but little tweaks that I've done to the rules that I think will help tighten some stuff up, tighten the dogs up a little bit. So other than that, I mean, the rules are basically the same.
Gotcha. So tell me about Cur Dog Billboard. Is that your YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, that's a totally separate deal. I have a YouTube channel, Cur Dog Billboard, and I honestly, I'll have a Cur Dog Facebook page also. And I started it way back at the beginning of the year. and I think it's a private group, man. I think we're knocking at 500 members or 500 uh, followers on that. And it's done really well. I try to keep up and acknowledge if I see anything hunting, period, I try to share it to that group and just keep everybody in the loop. And I think there's a lot of good dog men on the Cur Dog page, the Cur Dog Billboard page. Like I said, I think we're knocking on like 500 people in there. And I try to acknowledge everybody. Like I said, if there's a hunt out there, if there's been a hunt, if there's somebody trying to sell a dog, pups, questions, raffles, anything I see as I scroll through Facebook, I try to share it to my page, the Cur Dog Billboard. Just somewhere for somebody to go look. Hey man, there's a hunt. There was a hunt yesterday. Where can I find that? You can go to Cur Dog Billboard. If I've seen it and I can share it, it's on there. So that's just trying to keep everybody in the loop. All the dog men that like dogs, all the people who like keep up with it. I made that to keep everybody in the loop. And on the flip side of it, you mentioned the YouTube page. Of course, if I go out and have a good hunt and the dog's doing good, I try to make my own little short videos and post them up. And I really made it to right here coming soon. Anytime I can go on a cast, anytime I can go to semifinals, anytime I can go on a finals cast, I'm going to always, if I'm allowed and can and not hunting a dog, it's kind of hard when you're handling a dog. But, maybe have somebody that's with me video the hunt as we go, or myself. I'm going to always video when I can and have as many hunts, casts, championships, finals, however you want to put it. And I'll always post them to that Cur Dog Billboard YouTube page. And people will be able to go on there because, I know a lot of guys that's older in age that can't make it to these hunts, but really enjoy watching the hunts. And I hope I can film several hunts, cast this year and be able to post them up on there just for people to go watch and see, keep up with dogs, and different registries and see what's going on and kind of keep up with everything that's going on. So that's really why I made the YouTube page, and it's doing pretty well. I think I got 100 subscribers almost on it. So, I mean, there's more people out there across the world that that you don't know, I guess you could say, that enjoy watching that stuff. I guess it's never seen that stuff, that kind of follow and, like the videos that I'm doing so far. And that's just kind of where we're at, just to keep everybody in the loop once again, like the Facebook page.
So I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
You got any hot training tips? Is when it comes to squirrel dogs, is there anything that you feel like that most people don't know that just could really help out, that maybe just kind of one of those aha things?
Well, to me, and we may have talked about this, and I might talk about something I've already talked about, but to me, I mean, laying a hands on a dog early, and getting familiar with that dog and knowing that dog. And nowadays, a lot of people talk about bloodline. Just because, and this is my opinion, of course, just because a dog come from A and B does not mean the dog's going to be a squirrel dog, a competition dog like dog A and B was. I mean, I mean, it ain't going to happen that way. So to me, being able to pick a dog, 6 weeks old, a dog that you like, the bloodline, and have out of a bloodline that's done very well, and being able to lay hands on that dog, and to me, I think you need to handle. You gotta handle a dog. If you're gonna make a good dog to me, you gotta lay hands on the dog daily. Like, it's not. And if I could give anybody a tip, pointer, you gotta mess with the dogs. You gotta have kids messing with them. You gotta learn them how to lead. You gotta learn them a box. You gotta learn them. You gotta show them the game. You gotta take them to the woods. It's not just something. Hey, you can leave them in a kennel, and now they're 6 months old. Now you take them to the woods, and you expect them to go tree a squirrel. I mean, it's not going to work that way. And I learned it the hard way. And as I handle dogs and mess with dogs, and the dog's the kind of dog I'm looking for, it's still hard to find. Doing I guess you could say, doing all that stuff at an early age for a dog, that still don't mean they're going to make a good dog. I mean, and I'm speaking for more of a competition style dog. It's just there's a lot of aspects in it, man. And if I could give anybody a pointer, just work with the dog. Spend time with the dog. Take them to the woods. If it's take them and sit down in the woods, let them roam. Let them kind of learn. Let them kind of learn. What they're doing, what they're after themselves, and I'll tell you something Bobby Taylor told me that makes a lot of sense, and some people may agree, some people may not, but let them make the mistakes. If a dog don't ever make a mistake and you're not trying to correct that mistake, then when they do make a mistake, then they're not going to know what mistake they made, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, you take a dog to the woods, to me, you think a dog's ready. Take them to the woods and let them do what they're supposed to do, and let them make mistakes, and then you go from there. So that's kind of what I try to do with the pup. And I mean, to me, you should know. I try to know. I hope I can know if a dog. If a dog's going to make it, from 0 to 10 months, a dog should be showing some kind of signs of, locking game, locking squirrels, locking coons. And it's just, if they're not, then to me personally, and it's my opinion, it's kind of time to move on to the next one, because there's so many out there. There's so many you can get a hold of that are showing signs, by 6 months, by 3 months, by 4 months, by 7 months. It's kind of hard for me to keep a dog around that's going to make a good dog that's not showing me nothing, within 6, 7, 8 months old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that answers the question, but it's just laying hands on them, man. You just gotta be patient and lay hands on them and watch them and learn them as they learn you too. Let them make mistakes, correct their mistakes.
So you kill a lot of squirrels out to your dogs?
Well, I wish I could. It's hard to see a squirrel right now, but I got this little Trixie female out here. She does everything right, and she's to the point now where, for her to get better in her game and to take it to the next level, that's what she needs and has left, is for me to knock. I think once I knock 8 or 10 squirrels out to her, which she hit the point where she really started rolling and doing, what you like to see when the leaves was on. And the squirrels in the top of the trees, they're starting to come down now a little bit, but, through the summer, through the hot months, it's hard to go across to where you hunt, and the season's not even open. And if you're on private land, you're not supposed to knock them out anyways, and then, season rolls around, opens September 1st, and you might go make 10 trees, but you see one squirrel. So I like to knock squirrels out to dogs that I think are ready for squirrels to be knocked out, I guess you could say, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And a dog that's finished, that you're pushing in comp hunts, I like to knock a squirrel out to them every now and then, just to keep that fire in them, just to let them know, okay, this is what we're after. I've done good on this one. And, knock one out to him. Let him taste it a little bit. And then go on. Do I knock every squirrel out to every competition dog that I hunt? No. Do I knock one out every 5? That's what, that's the kind of basis I try to stay on. So young dogs, I think, knocking them out, if they're treeing and staying and doing what they're supposed to, I knock them out to them.
What's your, this is another question I like to ask. Try to ask most people on here. What's your squirrel gun of choice?
Squirrel gun of choice. Well, I'm to the point now where I don't even pack a gun. I let my kids do it. So,
Yeah.
If I take one, it's a Ruger 22. If he takes one, Xander likes to take his 20 gauge. So, with the leaves on, especially, you never know. He carries a cricket sometimes, a little single shot, easy to maneuver, lightweight. And like you said earlier, when we started talking, he lasts. If he lasts an hour packing a gun, we're in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually 15 minutes. He's like, Dad, will you carry this? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Just because I know if I don't carry it, then we're going to have to cut our hunt short, and we're going to be out there about 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's and that, you saying that, it's if you got everything going in a dog, and you bring up the gun part of it, and the gun pressure, to me, the dogs that I have that do well hold the gun pressure well. If you're shooting squirrels out left and right, and you see some dogs that run and hide, and if you see dogs that's doing the same thing once you shoot 5 shotgun shells off versus no shells, then you've conquered that pressure of being able to hold gun pressure too. So we work on that a little bit also.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we're creeping up on an hour, which is about what we shoot for. Is there anything else you want to talk about or say before we kind of shut her down?
No, I was, and we made this call to talk about the HDA. I'd like to shout out Dark 30 Hunt Supply, who's going to sponsor us in our world hunt, and Greg Roberson, and then you got Arc Dog Supply, which is Justin Newell out of Texas. I like to say thanks to them guys, and helping me with donations, and helping out with the HDA and that first world hunt. And, just all the guys that I talk to, man, at these hunts, and that know me, and give me advice. It's a good thing, man. There's a lot of good people in it, and I appreciate you wanting to do this and helping me advertise this thing. And yeah, man, I just hope it takes off, and then hope it's a good thing in the future.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with it, and I appreciate you agreeing to come on here and give us a little bit of your time and talk to us and give us all something to listen to.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate you, man. God bless.
All right, everybody. Take care and keep wearing out that boot leather. I just want to give everyone that's listening a sincere thank you. Getting this podcast going has been a project. I really hope you're enjoying it, and if you don't mind, give the show a good rating and review wherever you're listening to it at, or share it on your social media to help get some traction. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to your feedback.